Okay, so AI for business. It's everywhere you look these days, right? But it's not about robots taking over the world like in the movies. We're talking about using AI right now to get things done. Real practical stuff.
Absolutely.
We're diving into some cool resources today to help us unpack all this. We've
Ugh.
got excerpts from this AI mastermind presentation thing, high-level business strategies. And we're also going to pull from the big-ass book of AI prompts, which
Love that.
it's exactly what it sounds like. It's awesome. But before we get into all the cool tools and tricks, let's take a step back for a second. How did we even get here?
Well, it all started with an idea, actually. Alan Turing, a brilliant mathematician, came up with this thing called the Turing test. Basically, it asked, could a machine ever think like a human? And that question sparked the whole field of AI.
Wow. So from one question, we get all this. And it's crazy how fast things have developed since then.
It's mind-boggling. In just a few decades, AI has gone from this abstract concept to something we're interacting with every day, often without even realizing it.
That's so true. I remember when AI was pure science fiction, and now it's recommending me music and telling me what to buy online.
And that's a key takeaway for businesses here. This isn't some passing fad, it's a fundamental shift. To really understand how we got to where we are today, let's rewind back to the 80s for a sec. Back then, we had something called rule-based systems, which were used to automate very specific tasks. It was revolutionary at the time.
Right, like the first baby steps towards the kind of automation we take for granted these days.
Exactly. Then fast forward to the 2000s, machine learning comes along and totally changes the game. Suddenly, AI could learn from data, which meant more complex tasks were now on the table. And then came the 2010s. Boom, deep learning arrives. Things that seemed impossible just a few years earlier, like facial recognition, become totally normal.
Yeah, like, oh, my phone can recognize my face now. Okay, cool.
Exactly. Or those algorithms that seem to know what you want to buy online before you do. That's deep learning in action.
It's wild when you think about it. We went from AI being this niche thing to it basically running in the background of our lives constantly. So where do we even start with using it for business? Where does a company even begin? It really does feel like AI is everywhere but nowhere at the same time. Yeah. Like you mentioned, facial recognition, recommendations, it's almost invisible even though it's a huge part of our lives. But where do we go from there? What are the tools that businesses are using right now to get stuff done?
Well, the good news is you don't need a massive tech budget to get started with AI. There are tons of platforms out there that are already making waves in the business world.
Okay, so like what kind of AI platforms are we talking about here?
Well, we can't talk about AI without mentioning ChatGPT, right?
ChatGPT, it's everywhere these days. But beyond the hype, how are businesses actually using it?
It's being used for a lot of different things, but one of the biggest use cases is definitely content creation. Blog posts, marketing copy, even scripts. Instead of starting with a blank page, you can give ChatGPT a prompt and get a first draft in minutes.
Okay, so it's like having an assistant writer. But what about the quality?
Yeah.
Can it really compete with something written by a human?
It's not about replacing humans, it's about working smarter. Think of ChatGPT as a brainstorming partner or a way to overcome writer's block. You take that output, and then you use your own expertise and creativity to make it even better.
I like that. It's a partnership.
Exactly. And it goes way beyond generating text. ChatGPT can be used for customer service, like handling simple questions and requests 24/7, frees up your team to deal with more complex issues, you know?
Now that's smart. Let the AI handle the boring, repetitive stuff so your team can focus on the human touch.
Exactly. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg with ChatGPT. But let's move on for now. Another big player in the AI game is Midjourney. Have you heard of that one?
Midjourney, yeah, the AI art generator. I've seen some really wild images created with it. But how does that translate to the business world? It's not like everybody needs to create these crazy masterpieces.
True, but think about it. We live in a very visual world. Images are everywhere on social media, websites, presentations, you name it. Having those eye-catching visuals can make all the difference.
Well, yeah. Like they say, picture's worth 1,000 words, right? But isn't hiring a graphic designer still the best way to go? For professional-looking stuff.
It used to be the only way, but AI art generators like Midjourney are changing the game. They're making high-quality visuals accessible to everyone, regardless of budget.
Okay, so how does it work? Do you need any design skills to use it?
It's surprisingly simple. You basically give Midjourney a text description, like a cat wearing a monocle, riding a bicycle, anything you can imagine, and then...
It creates it.
Exactly. The AI generates a bunch of options for you to choose from. Then you can use those images for social media posts, website banners, whatever you need.
So instead of spending hours messing around in Photoshop, I can just tell the AI what I want, and it does the work for me.
Pretty much. And the results are often really good, even for someone like me who can't draw to save my life.
See, that's the kind of practical application I'm talking about. It's not just about AI being cool. It's about it making your life easier and your business more effective.
Totally. And on that note, let's talk about presentations, another pain point for a lot of people. Specifically, there's this tool called Beautiful.ai that I think you'll like.
Presentations. Ugh. Don't get me started. Love-hate relationship for sure.
I hear you. But Beautiful.ai makes it so much easier. It's like having a design assistant built right into your presentation software.
Okay, now I'm interested. How does it work? It's not just a fancier version of PowerPoint, is it?
It's way more than that. It uses AI to help you create really slick, professional-looking presentations in a fraction of the time it would normally take.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Give me the details.
So they have these smart templates that adapt to your content. It's constantly giving you design suggestions as you work, and it can even make sure your visuals are consistent with your branding.
So it's like having a design consultant over your shoulder saying, hey, maybe try this font, or that image would look great if you cropped it this way.
Exactly. Takes all the guesswork out of design and helps you create presentations that look amazing and get your message across effectively. And trust me, you don't need to be a design whiz to use it. It's incredibly user-friendly.
A well-designed presentation can make or break a pitch, a conference talk, even just getting your team on board with a new idea.
100%.
Beautiful.ai is officially on my list to check out. Practical AI tools that solve real business problems. This is great. What else should we have on our radar? We've talked about some really cool tools so far.
Yeah.
But now I want to see how they actually work in the real world.
Right.
Let's get into the nitty-gritty of using this stuff.
Absolutely. Because, theory is great.
Yeah.
But seeing AI in action, that's where the real aha moments happen.
Exactly. And for that, we're turning to the big-ass book of AI prompts.
Love it. It's like having a cheat sheet for talking to AI.
It is. So let's jump right into an example. There's this section called the mother of all email marketing prompts. What's the deal with that?
Oh, it's a game changer. We all know email marketing is still so important.
Right.
But crafting those email sequences can take a ton of time and energy.
For sure.
This prompt basically helps you automate the whole nurturing process.
Okay, break that down for me. What do we mean by an email nurture sequence?
So imagine you're leading a potential customer on a journey, right?
Okay.
Each email is like a step that provides value, builds trust, and ultimately guides them towards making a purchase.
So it's strategic. It's not just blasting out random promotions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where AI comes in. Instead of writing every single email yourself, you can use AI to do the heavy lifting.
Okay, I'm listening.
This prompt helps you train the AI to write in your brand voice. You can tell it to sound like a top copywriter. Really make it sing.
Wow. So no more staring at a blank screen trying to find the right words.
Exactly. You can have the AI generate a solid first draft, then tweak it to make it your own.
Okay, that makes sense. But how do we make sure it sounds like us and not some generic AI?
That's the cool part. You feed the AI your existing content, website copy, blog posts, even customer testimonials.
Ah, so it learns our style.
Exactly. And it gets even better. You define your ideal customer in detail, their pain points, their dreams, everything. It's like creating a customer avatar that the AI can then write to directly.
Okay, this is next level stuff. No more generic email blast. It's personalized to each person.
Exactly. And finally, the prompt helps you structure the entire sequence. So each email has a purpose, a clear call to action, and flows naturally to the next. It's about working smarter, not harder, and this whole book is full of these aha moments.
It's pretty mind-blowing. So beyond email, what other AI magic can this book help us with?
Well, every business with an online presence needs to master online reviews.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those can be tricky, especially the negative ones.
Right. It's not enough to just respond. You have to respond the right way with the right tone. Show empathy even when it's hard. That's where AI comes in.
Okay, so it's not about AI writing some perfect sassy comeback then.
Not at all. This is about using AI to craft responses that are genuine and solution-oriented. You address the issue head-on, maybe offer a resolution. It's all about building trust.
So taking the emotion out of it and keeping it professional. I like it.
Exactly. But it's not just about damage control. This book has prompts for responding to positive reviews, too.
Oh, that's smart. Show those happy customers some love.
Exactly. It's like having a 24/7 PR team, but way more affordable.
So much good stuff in here. This has been an amazing deep dive. Any final words for our listeners before we wrap up?
Don't be afraid to experiment. AI is here to help you. Pick one thing that resonated with you today and try it out.
Couldn't agree more. We've only scratched the surface of what AI can do, and I, for one, am incredibly excited to see what's next. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI for business. Until next time, keep experimenting and keep innovating.